The Discovery captain Elena Reyes stood at the observation deck of the Earth Alliance vessel Horizon, watching the stars with a mixture of wonder and apprehension. Humanity had finally achieved faster-than-light travel just 15 years ago, and already they had been summoned to meet with the Galactic Council, a federation of 37 spacefaring species that had apparently been watching Earth's development for centuries. "Captain, we're receiving the rendezvous coordinates now," Lieutenant Kaito Nakamura announced from behind her. "The Council representatives will meet us at the edge of Saturn's orbit." Elena nodded, straightening her uniform. "Alert all stations. First contact protocols are active." The Horizon was humanity's finest achievement, a deep space exploration vessel built with their most advanced technology. Yet as they approached the designated coordinates, Elena's pride quickly turned to humility. The Council's diplomatic vessel emerged from faster-than-light travel, dwarfing the horizon like a whale beside a minnow. Its hull gleamed with a material that seemed to absorb and reflect starlight simultaneously, without any visible engine ports or external components. "My God," whispered Commander David Chen as he joined Elena at the window. "That thing must be at least 3 kilometers long, and probably 1,000 years beyond our technology," Elena replied, keeping her voice steady. She had been selected for this mission because of her diplomatic skills as much as her command experience. "Let's make a good first impression." The diplomatic reception aboard the Council vessel was both fascinating and unsettling. Representatives from a dozen different species greeted the human delegation, each more extraordinary than the last. The Council's lead representative, Ambassador Talixia of the Alluvian species, towered over the humans with her translucent crystalline skin and 4 elegantly jointed arms. "We welcome Earth to the galactic community," Talixia announced, her voice melodious despite coming through a translation device. "Your species has progressed quickly from planetary civilization to stellar exploration. Quite impressive for such young ones." Elena detected the subtle condescension in the ambassador's tone but maintained her diplomatic smile. "On behalf of Earth and all humanity, we thank you for this welcome and look forward to peaceful exchange between our civilizations." Over the following days, the human delegation toured parts of the massive vessel, marveling at technologies they could barely comprehend. Gravity manipulation, matter conversion, instantaneous communication across vast distances. The Council species took such wonders for granted. "This computer terminal operates on quantum neural pathways," explained Krex, a reptilian Vexari scientist, as he demonstrated a control panel that responded to thought alone. "Of course, we had to install these antiquated physical interfaces for your visit. Most species abandon such primitive methods within their first millennium of space travel." Commander Chen clenched his jaw beside Elena, but she placed a calming hand on his arm. They had all grown accustomed to such remarks. The thinly veiled mockery of human technology, the patronizing explanations, the amused glances when humans expressed wonder at technologies the Council considered basic. "Your propulsion systems are particularly fascinating," Elena remarked, deflecting the conversation. "Our scientists have only theorized about folding space-time in such a manner." "Yes, well, perhaps in another few centuries your species might grasp the fundamentals," Krex replied with what passed for a smile among his kind. 2 weeks into their diplomatic mission, everything changed. The Horizon sensors detected an anomalous energy signature emanating from an unexplored region beyond Neptune's orbit. When Elena brought this to Ambassador Talixia's attention, the Alluvian's reaction was immediate and unexpected. "This sector is restricted," Talixia declared, her crystalline features hardening. "The Council will investigate this anomaly. Your vessel is to return to Earth immediately." Elena exchanged glances with Commander Chen. "With respect, Ambassador, this anomaly is within our solar system. We have every right to investigate." "You misunderstand, Captain Reyes." Talixia's tone grew cold. "Your membership in the Council is provisional. There are certain protections in place for developing species. Some discoveries could be harmful to your cultural development." Something in the ambassador's manner triggered Elena's suspicions. "We appreciate your concern, Ambassador, but we will be conducting our own investigation alongside the Council's efforts." What followed was a tense diplomatic standoff that ended with a compromise. The Horizon would accompany the Council vessel to investigate the anomaly, but the human crew would remain as observers only. As they approached the coordinates, everyone on the Horizon's bridge fell silent. Against the blackness of space floated what could only be described as a space station, but unlike anything humans, or surprisingly, the Council representatives had ever seen. Its architecture was both organic and geometric, with sweeping arches and precise angles forming a structure nearly 5 kilometers across. "It's ancient," whispered Lieutenant Nakamura, reading the sensor data. "Preliminary scans suggest it's been here for at least 50,000 years. Elena watched the Council representatives through the communication screen. Their reactions ranged from confusion to what appeared to be fear. "Captain Reyes," Talixia's voice had lost its condescending edge. "This structure is potentially dangerous. We insist your crew remain aboard your vessel while our experts assess the situation." But when the Council's exploration team attempted to dock with the mysterious station, they encountered an unexpected problem. The station's external ports remained sealed, resistant to all their advanced technology. After hours of failed attempts, a frustrated Talixia requested Elena's presence on the Council vessel. "We believe this structure may contain automated defense systems," the ambassador explained, avoiding Elena's gaze. "Our analyses indicate it might respond to certain genetic markers." "You want us to try docking with it?" Elena concluded, finally understanding. "You think it might respond to humans?" Talixia's silence was confirmation enough. With a small team including Commander Chen and Lieutenant Nakamura, Elena approached the ancient station in a shuttle. As they neared what appeared to be a docking port, the previously inert structure suddenly illuminated with lines of blue energy, flowing through previously invisible channels in the hull. "Captain," Nakamura reported with amazement, "the station is scanning us, and the port is opening." The shuttle glided into the docking bay as if guided by an invisible hand. When the team exited their craft, the artificial gravity and life support systems activated automatically around them. The interior of the station was pristine, no dust, no deterioration despite its apparent age. "It's like it was waiting for us," Chen murmured, running his hand along a wall covered in unfamiliar yet somehow recognizable symbols. As Elena approached a central terminal, the symbols began to glow. When she hesitantly placed her palm on the surface, the entire chamber illuminated and a holographic display burst into life above them. "Captain," Nakamura's voice trembled as he studied the readings on his device. "These symbols, they're responding to our DNA. And according to these preliminary translations, this is some kind of registry, a catalog of ships." "Ships?" Elena looked at the swirling holographic display, which now showed what appeared to be vessel designs of incredible sophistication. "Not just ships," Chen said, his face pale as he stared at another active terminal. "Warships, thousands of them. And if I'm reading this correctly, they were built by humans." Before they could process this revelation, Ambassador Talixia's voice came through their communication devices, tight with barely controlled alarm. "Captain Reyes, you are to evacuate that station immediately. The Council is declaring this entire region under emergency quarantine." Elena looked at her team, then back at the holographic display showing vessel designs that made both Earth's and the Council's most advanced ships look primitive by comparison. "Why are you so afraid of what we might find here, Ambassador?" she asked quietly. The silence that followed was deafening. "Captain," Chen said urgently, pointing to another display that had activated. "You need to see this." The new hologram showed a star map of the galaxy, with thousands of points highlighted across its spiral arms. And at the center of it all was Earth, not labeled as a peripheral world at the edge of explored space, but as something the translation program rendered as primary homeworld. "Whatever this station is," Elena said slowly, "it recognizes humans as its creators. And I think our new friends on the Council knew that all along." As the implications of their discovery began to sink in, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. External sensors showed multiple Council vessels decelerating from faster-than-light travel, their weapon systems powering up. "They're not here to welcome us to the Galactic community," Chen said grimly. "They're here to make sure we never learn the truth." Elena's mind raced as she considered their options. The horizon was no match for even one Council warship, let alone a fleet. But they stood within a station that apparently recognized human, a station that might hold the secret to humanity's true past and possibly the key to its future. "Secure that data," she ordered Nakamura. "Download everything you can. Commander Chen, see if you can access the station's defense systems." As her team rushed to comply, Elena opened a channel to the horizon. "This is Captain Reyes. Prepare for emergency departure and transmit everything we're sending you directly to Earth Alliance Command. Priority Omega." She paused, looking around at the ancient technology that hummed with renewed life at her presence. "And alert Earth that they may soon be facing the truth about our origins, a truth the Galactic Council has gone to great lengths to keep hidden from us." The revelation, deep within the ancient station, Elena and her team worked frantically to uncover its secrets before the Council forces could stop them. The structure's defensive systems had activated automatically when the Council warships took aggressive positions, generating an energy shield that even their advanced weapons couldn't immediately penetrate. "How much time do we have?" Elena asked, studying the tactical display. Commander Chen looked grim. "The shield is holding, but they're coordinating their attacks on specific nodes. I'd estimate 2 hours, maybe less." "That has to be enough time," Elena said, turning to Lieutenant Nakamura, who was interfacing with the station's central database. "Captain, you need to see this," he called, his voice shaking slightly. "I've accessed what appears to be a historical archive. It's incredible." The holographic display expanded, showing images of a vast civilization spanning hundreds of star systems. The architecture, the ships, the technology, all of it had clear connections to the designs found throughout the station. But most shocking were the beings shown in these records. They were unmistakably human. According to these records, Nakamura explained, human civilization originated on Earth over 100,000 years ago. We weren't confined to one planet. We had colonies across thousands of worlds. We were the first advanced civilization in this sector of the galaxy. Elena stared at the images, struggling to reconcile this information with everything she had been taught about human history. If that's true, what happened to us? How did we end up back at the Stone Age with no memory of any of this? The answer came as Nakamura accessed deeper levels of the archive. The holographic display shifted to show scenes of conflict. Massive space battles, planetary bombardments, entire star systems engulfed in war. "It seems humans didn't just explore and colonize," Chen observed grimly. "We created as well. According to this, many of the species now part of the Galactic Council were originally engineered by humans, some as workforce species, others as biological research projects." "Engineered species?" Elena repeated, horrified by the implications. "Yes, and approximately 75,000 years ago they rebelled." Nakamura continued, reading the data streaming across his screen. "The war lasted for centuries. Humans had the technological advantage, but the engineered species had numbers. Eventually, a faction among the human leadership proposed a radical solution called the Sanctuary Protocol. The display shifted again, focusing on Earth. Rather than face extinction, the remaining humans would retreat to Earth. Their technology and memories would be suppressed, allowing them to develop naturally once again while hidden in plain sight. Meanwhile, their most advanced technologies and warships would be stored in hidden facilities throughout the solar system, programmed to recognize human DNA when we eventually returned to space." "And the engineered species?" Elena asked quietly. "They formed what eventually became the Galactic Council," Chen answered, reading another data stream. "But they maintained a quarantine around Earth, monitoring our development. They've been watching us for millennia, making sure we didn't remember who we once were." A massive explosion rocked the station, causing the lights to flicker momentarily. "Shield integrity at 60%, reported a junior officer. The Council ships are concentrating fire on the primary generator nodes. Elena straightened her uniform, her mind racing with the implications of what they discovered. Lieutenant, continue downloading everything you can to the horizon. Commander Chen, is there any information about the fleet mentioned in those records? Chen's fingers flew across the ancient but responsive interface. Yes, Captain. According to this, there are 17 storage facilities throughout the solar system containing preserved warships and other technologies. This station appears to be the command and control center for the entire network. Can we access those facilities from here? Theoretically, yes, Chen replied, studying the interface. The system is designed to recognize authorized human operators. It would require... Another explosion, stronger than the first, interrupted him. The station's artificial gravity fluctuated, momentarily. Shield integrity at 40%, the officer announced. At this rate, they'll break through in less than an hour. Elena made her decision. Send the coordinates of all storage facilities to the horizon, then initiate the activation sequence for the nearest facility. Captain, Chen warned, we don't know what kind of weapons or defenses these ancient ships might have. If we activate them, if we don't, humanity will never know the truth, Elena replied firmly. The Council has been lying to us from the beginning, treating us like children while knowing we were once their equals. Or more. We deserve to know our own history. As Chen worked to activate the nearest facility, the communication system crackled, to life with Ambassador Talixia's voice. Captain Reyes, this is your final warning. What you have discovered is dangerous, not just to the Council, but to humanity itself. There are aspects of your species' past that were deliberately hidden for your own protection. Elena exchanged glances with her officers before responding. Protection from what, Ambassador? From knowing that your Council species were created by humans? That you've been suppressing our development for millennia? A long pause followed. When Talixia spoke again, her voice had lost its diplomatic polish. The war nearly destroyed the galaxy, Captain. Billions died on all sides. The decision to implement the Sanctuary Protocol wasn't made by us. It was made by your own ancestors to prevent extinction. We have honored their wishes by allowing humanity to develop naturally, free from the burden of that knowledge. And, now that we've discovered it on our own, Elena challenged, another explosion rocked the station. The lights dimmed, then stabilized. Now we must contain the situation, Talixia replied coldly. For the greater good. The transmission cut off abruptly as Chen called out, Captain, activation sequence initiated. The facility near Jupiter's orbit is responding. The main display shifted to show a massive structure emerging from the shadow of one of Jupiter's moons. It was a shipyard, easily 20 times the size of the station they currently occupied. As they watched, sections of the facility began to illuminate, and massive bay doors slowly opened. My God, whispered Nakamura, as the first ships became visible. Sleek, powerful vessels unlike anything humans or the Council races currently possessed. Some were relatively small, probably fighters or scouts. Others were enormous dreadnoughts that dwarfed even the largest Council warships. The facility reports 174 vessels at combat readiness, Chen announced, reading the incoming data. Their systems are activating and, Captain, they're responding to this station's command protocols. They recognize you as their commanding officer. Elena felt the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. These weren't just ships. They were the legacy of a human civilization so advanced it had seeded the galaxy with life, then fallen so far that it had forgotten its own achievements. Open a channel to all Council vessels, she ordered, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. When the channel confirmed active, Elena addressed not just the ships surrounding the station, but, through them, the entire Galactic Council. This is Captain Elena Reyes of Earth. We have discovered the truth about our shared history. We know now that humans once ruled this galaxy, and that many of your species were created by ours. We know about the war, and about the choice our ancestors made to forget rather than continue fighting. She paused, watching as the first wave of ancient human warships accelerated toward their position, their systems fully operational despite millennia of dormancy. We have no desire to restart a war that ended thousands of years ago, but neither will we allow you to destroy the evidence of our past. As of this moment, humanity reclaims its legacy and its rightful place among the stars, not as conquerors, but not as subordinates either. The tactical display showed the Council warships breaking off their attack as the first wave of ancient human vessels approached. Even with their advanced technology, they were clearly outmatched by the awakened fleet. Ambassador Talixia is requesting to speak with you directly, Captain, Nakamura reported. The Illuvian ambassador's face appeared on the screen, her crystalline features set in what Elena now recognized as an expression of fear. Your ancestors understood the responsibility that came with their power, Captain Reyes, Talixia said quietly. That is why they chose to forget. The question now is whether modern humans possess the same wisdom. Elena looked at the tactical display, where dozens of ancient warships now surrounded the Council fleet, their weapon systems active but not firing. With a single command, she could obliterate the vessels that had moments ago been trying to destroy them. The temptation to demonstrate humanity's reclaimed power was strong. Instead, she gave a different order. All vessels hold position. Ambassador Talixia, I propose an immediate diplomatic summit, not as supplicants being welcomed to your Galactic Council, but as equals with a shared and complicated history. It's time we discuss the future of our species honestly. The tension on the bridge was palpable as they waited for the ambassador's response. Finally, Talixia nodded, her crystalline features catching the light. Perhaps your species has indeed regained the wisdom of your ancestors, Captain. We will meet on neutral ground. She paused, adding reluctantly, as equals. As the communication ended, Chen approached Elena. Captain, the archives indicate there are 16 more facilities like this one throughout the solar system, each containing technologies beyond our current understanding. What are your orders? Elena looked out at the ancient fleet, humanity's forgotten legacy, now poised to either restart a devastating war or forge a new path forward. Document everything, she replied firmly. But activate the facilities one at a time. We need to understand our past before we fully reclaim it. She turned to face her crew. Our ancestors chose to forget because they saw no other way to end the cycle of violence. Now that we remember, we have a responsibility to prove they were wrong, to show that humans can wield great power without succumbing to its temptations. As the horizon approached to dock with the ancient station, Elena gazed out at the stars. The same stars her ancestors had once traversed as masters of technology beyond imagination. Soon, Earth would learn the truth about its past, and humanity would face a choice about its future. They mocked our primitive ships, Commander Chen said quietly, standing beside her. Now they know who designed the first starships in this galaxy. And now we all have to live with that knowledge, Elena replied. For better or worse, humanity has remembered itself. What happens next is up to us. In the days that followed, as Earth processed the revelation of its forgotten history, and the Galactic Council adjusted to a new balance of power, the ancient stations throughout the solar system continued to awaken, each one revealing another piece of humanity's complex legacy, not just weapons and warships, but art, culture, scientific knowledge, and the genetic records of thousands of worlds humans had once called home. It was not the future Elena had imagined when she took command of the horizon, but as she prepared for the first true diplomatic summit between Earth and the Galactic Council, a meeting of equals rather than patron and client, she felt a profound sense of purpose. Humanity had been given a second chance to write its own story among the stars. This time they would do better.